Right, okay, Jeff, I'm going to take you right back to where you were born, which was suburban Surrey. You were born 24th of June 1944. What about music at that time, in your early days? Where were you hearing any music from?
From my mum, a little baby grand, and I guess she must be playing it when I was nearly ready to be born, I thought she was the queen of the keyboard, But I didn't really get off on the music. I didn't understand that Rachmaninoff and Bach and all that. It was a bit much for me.
And what about your dad?
He was a complete jazz fanatic, and it just turned out that the couple of brothers that lived down the road, one of them was an amazing jazz pianist. He sat down at the same piano, and this whole thing hit me, like, how could he make that sound so different? With Jelly Roll Morton and, Fats Waller in singing in, it was just joyous, fantastic.
In terms of your own introduction to the guitar, just tell us how that came about.
Well, the radio was on all the time, and there was this thing that caught my ear. It was How High the Moon. I don't know what it was, but my ears just locked onto this amazing, speedy sound. I'd never heard the guitar sound like. And my mum said, oh, it's just all tricks. I've read about this chap. When she said electric guitar, then it triggered something in my head. You plug it in the wall and it lights up. What is it, what's it supposed to do?
So in terms of the first guitar you ever managed to get your hands on, you experimented with kind of strings over a piece of wood and rubber bands between.
The piano was the first big, main toy that I had. And the best thing was sneaking into the music room with the piano and lifting the lid and just I didn't get off on the sound of the keys. They didn't feel right.
Didn't do it for you.
I wanted to hear the actual. When I saw what the hammer did, I thought, right, I'll do that, thank you. And then I used to put one foot round somehow on the sustain pedal and then twang like the guitar. But it was magical sound.
It's a big guitar.
It's got a lot. Yeah. But it echoes in the frame, and I just found that magical. It's harp-like. We could stroke your fingers over the strings rather. That really probably was the germ that got my ear tuned to the guitar.
Brilliant. So tell me how you got your first guitar.
Oh my God, okay, it was a piece of fence post, a bit of moulding. I think it was a piece of picture frame moulding for the neck. And then I found some scraps of plywood, just a very thin 1/8 ply. And it was just one thickness. I thought, no, that's not right. I've got to make it thicker. So then I went and bought some thick wood, and the guy says, oh, that's too thick, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I do know what I want. And he went, right. And I struggled home with this heavy wood. The guitar weighed about 10 stone. And so then I gradually worked out a violin. I thought, okay, because I didn't have any other guitar to judge with. I'd only seen pictures. So I didn't know anything about the scale of the frets, how they were supposed to be spaced. So I painted them on. They were just painted on like white lines on this piece of moulding.
What did it sound like?
Terrible. It's just appalling, But it looked good, and I just felt that was my instrument,
But when you got your first real guitar, one guitar lesson, was it?
I thought you had to have a lesson. Yeah. You weren't going to get anywhere without it. And I'd already learned how to play Chet Atkins.
Right.
Well, I'd done this stuff. Just a quick thing. Go on, get He said, I don't teach that sort of stuff, and that was the end of that.
1956 you just mentioned, which was quite a year, because you go to see The Girl Can't Help It.
Oh, God, yeah.
And it seemed like that had quite an effect.
Yes, it did. And I just came out of there just floating. I thought, there is a God, It was just amazing, riddled with all my favourite stars, the Platters, Gene Vincent, Little Richard. Just mind-blowing.
Gene Vincent's Guitarist had a really profound effect on you, didn't he?
He did, but so did Scotty Moore. I mean, I don't know what it was about those rockabilly records. I was more impressed with the solos than there was of the singing. I used to listen for the guitar breaks.
Can you give us a little demo? I read that the Sunburst Fender Stratocaster caught your eye.
That's right. Me and my close buddy at school, we ventured up to London. We just barely had the train fare. And we said to the guy at the station, where are all the guitars? We had no idea where we were going. He said, Charing Cross Road, number 24 bus. We're wiping the sort of moisture off the inside of the window. I went, I've just seen God. There was a red Strat hanging in the window and a Telecaster of Jennings Musical Industries. And I just didn't care who was there. I just picked up one and started playing it. And I put my foot up on the amp and he went, get out of this shop. But now they make my own guitar. They give me my own Fender. Hello, boys.
Jeff, there was a kind of succession of bands. The Bandits, Deltones,
Wow.
Night Shift.
You've been scraping around.
Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, the Tritons.
Yeah. I went to Eel Pie, and that's when things really started to motor, because Eel Pie was a big leap, you know.
What was it like at that time, Jeff? Just give us a little picture of, you know,
Well,
I mean, why Thames Valley, West London, why there?
It's funny because Jimmy Page used to live in Epsom, and I was in Wallington, and Eric was in Ripley. So a sort of like 20-minute bus ride, you could have reached all three of us. It was called the Surrey Delta. We got the Surrey Delta. All I kept hearing about was Eric Clapton, Jimmy Page. And sister came home, she said, there's a weird guy with a weird guitar like yours. I went, where is he? You know, and it's Jim. So we struck up a friendship way back. But he was lucky, he got the breaks, he got the TV and the sessions.
Yeah.
So I kept tabs with what he was doing. I even ran him to sessions. He never paid me for the petrol or anything like that.
Part of this kind of blues explosion, there's a band who are making real noises called the Yardbirds.
Yeah.
And their featured guitarist is a young Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
And Eric decides to leave.
Yeah. To pursue blues.
And how did you hear that there was an opportunity there with the Yardbirds?
Well,
Jeff?
Jim.
From Jimmy Page.
He asked me over, and he played 5 long years by the Yardbirds. It was amazing, you know. There's a wonderful solo on there. And I went, wow, that's Eric, is it? Wow, okay, cool. Now what? He said, well, Eric's leaving. So the next time we're playing at the 100 Club, 2 guys, they kind of grabbed me by the arm. They said, be at the Marquee Tuesday at 2 o'clock. I didn't even have a guitar then. I think I'd sold it. And there's a really ratty van outside with lipstick all over it saying, Keith. I thought, it's the Stones. Because all right, says Keith, because he was the lead singer of the Yardbird. So I go in there, I went, oh, this is a terrible mistake. I thought it was the Stones. And Keith's got this sort of atomised, he's going, puffing and puffing.
He had bad asthma.
Yeah, he said, what's up? He said, oh, I've got asthma. And I went, oh dear, joining asthmatic rock blues band.
Great.
So I said, well, I'm not sitting here waiting for 3 hours for all these guys to play. So I just went up and played a piece, and they all packed up their stuff and went.
Hi guys, welcome to our channel. It's always good to have you here, and please don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe. Now in our news today is sad news, as Hall of Fame musician and former Yardbird guitarist Jeff Beck has died at the age of 78. He died because of bacterial meningitis. The blues rock innovator and two-time Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee who revolutionized how the guitar is played died Tuesday. Beck's family confirmed the former Yardbird's guitarist's death Wednesday. Beck, an 8-time Grammy winner, was twice inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, both as a member of the Yardbirds as well as for his work with his own Jeff Beck group.